This webinar was delivered on the 27th of July 2020, much before the vaccine was established for COVID-19 in the medical world. The procedure for obtaining ionized plasma needs to have high-level meditator, microbiologist, medical doctors or therapists as a team. The absence of teamwork pushed the research program in cold box till COVID-19 was effective. Hence, the research program for obtaining ionized plasma could not have yet been established. Now, I propose the webinar given on the 27th of July 2020, namely, a talk on proposal of use of ionized plasma as vaccine for COVID-19 inches as research program for scientists and spiritual masters for obtaining the same and to make use of ionized plasma as a remedy for upcoming viruses including killer diseases. Now, let us discuss the innovative approach of modern and spiritual science related to combat future viruses. The webinar consists of point number 1, Scenario and Vision during Pandemic of COVID-19. Point number 2, Innovative approach of modern science and spirituality related to combat future virus. Point number 3, How to achieve ionized plasma in meditation. Point number 4, How the blood cells of microcosm as plasma physics of macrocosm are connected. Point number 5, Connectivity between interstellar, galaxy, interplanetary and background zone with significant zones. Point number 6, Validity of ionized plasma supported by Scientific Instruments and Veda. Point number 7, Suggestions for additional research. Now the main webinar is presented.
As you know that my topic which has got three main words. So first I will try to explain in a layman's language, means what is virus, what is a sort of ionized plasma, and what should be the conditions of vaccine. So those three things I will just first take up in the layman's language, means common man language. So I will have that kind of a sort of slide. This is a slide of our blood cells. What I mean to say, the virus attacks on blood cells only. It is not attacking on our other periphery, like suppose our system. We have got 5 systems: respiratory, circulatory, digestive, then excretory, and the central nervous system. But virus doesn't go to that. It doesn't attack on even under that whatever organs are there. It doesn't attack even tissue. It directly goes to the cells level. So this is the main, actually the cells level. That's why I have brought this slide. What is cell and how virus is attacking on that, and what else we have to do in the cell so that virus will not attack. This picture will show you that outer periphery is called cell cover. Then below that is cell membrane, and below that there is a protoplasm, and below that there is a cytoplasm, and at the center, at the main center, it is a nucleus. What I mean to say, the cell structure is like that. Blood cell, every cell has got this kind of a structure. So it is shown as a very magnified way, but it is having like that. So center is having nucleus. Around that there is a cytoplasm. Around that there is a protoplasm. Then we have got cell membrane and then cell cover. In this, it is very important to note that whole what time plasma I am talking, that is also existing here. What is protoplasm? Protoplasm is nothing but it is a barrier for cytoplasm and nucleus. Within cytoplasm there is a RNA. RNA exists within cytoplasm and DNA exists at the nucleus. So protoplasm, or rather you can say the cell membrane, this plasma membrane, which is protoplasm, is protecting these two, means the RNA and DNA. Means that our plasma has got three main functions. One is barrier, which is giving as a barrier, it protects this cytoplasm as well as nucleus. Means it is providing a sort of a barrier for RNA and DNA. And second function of this our plasma membrane is having a carrier. Carrier means in the outer periphery, where our cell membrane is there. So it is carrying our nutrients, salt, as well as whatever the protein we have got. All things are being carried out from inside to outside or vice versa. So plasma membrane or plasma has got three major functions. One is barrier, other is carrier, and third one is transportation. So as a barrier, it protects RNA and DNA. As a carrier, it carries all nutrients, whatever it has got, whatever salts are there. And as a transfer motion, it provides all the blood cells. It is pushing inside the blood vessels. So plasma has got three major functions: as a barrier, as a carrier, as a transport mechanism. This, once we understand, any ordinary plasma, whatever we are having, that has got the three major functions. And how virus comes and attack. First virus comes and attack to the cover. So that is first stage of attack. Then second, cell membrane. That is the second stage of attack. And third is attacking to the protoplasm, which is a sort of nothing but a plasma membrane. And after attacking that, it attacks the RNA and DNA. Once RNA, DNA is attacked, then we are losing our lives. So this is the way virus comes and attacks us. This is medical people, they know very well. So that way virus comes and attacks in the cell. We have understood the virus mechanism, how it comes and attacks, where it attacks, what way we are sort of very chronic, or what way we are losing our lives, that we have understood. Now we have also understood by this that plasma, which is nothing but here protoplasm. So why protoplasm is given? Because it is protecting and it is plasma only. So this protoplasm is getting affected mainly by the virus. And we have also understood that the plasma has got three functions. So if any material, if we are bringing any material which is going to protect the three functions of plasma, like carrier, like barrier, and like transport mechanism, then that will be a sort of vaccine. So in layman's language, we can say vaccine is nothing but protecting the plasma functional aspect as a barrier, which is giving the barrier to the RNA and DNA, as a carrier transporting all nutrients outside and inside, and as well as it is a carrier that happens, and again pushing the whole blood inside the blood vessels. If that kind of material we are getting, that will work as a vaccine. So by this diagram, we have understood functional aspects of virus. We have understood where virus attacks. We have also understood that what material can protect this plasma, so that it retains all three functions. So that will be the vaccine. I am proposing this plasma, ordinary plasma, versus ionized plasma. This is ordinary plasma, and if the same plasma is made ionized, then naturally that will be very purest form of plasma, and that comes, when tinkle of that one comes here, so plasma, ordinary plasma will accept it as a natural ingredients, and that will work as a sort of cover for this, or a sort of shield for that ordinary plasma, and that will work as a vaccine, because that is going to retain all the ordinary plasma. So, and you know that anything whatever is now vaccine is being tried by scientific means, that will be the combination of some chemicals. All will be there. So that is foreign material for this plasma. So that's why they have to test it for that kind of vaccine. They have to test animals and man also. So because of being foreign material, which our plasma has to accept as a shielding or as a sort of improvement, then after testing only, this will be a sort of conducive to this plasma, whatever human plasma we are having. But in my proposal, ionized plasma, from the same plasma we are making ionization. So it is very natural for this plasma to accept readily because of conducive nature. This diagram, why I brought it, so that let us have the clear picture of virus and virus attacks. Let us have the clear picture of which is the main plasma, what is the role of the plasma to work as a barrier, carrier, as well as transport mechanism. And this whole figure, cell figure itself, this cross-section of the cell, this here you see that center is nucleus, and then around is cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is nothing but energy. And then we are having cell membrane, which is nothing but space. And then cover, which is nothing but consciousness, which is retained complete cell. So what I mean to say, if you remember, that nucleus is having energy as a sort of cytoplasm, as a space, as a cell membrane, and as a consciousness, as a sort of discover. So each nucleus will have energy, space, and consciousness. If this, from this diagram itself, two messages you should take it, then my all talks will be very in easy way of understanding, and this talk will be, means you can really interact with me wherever when difficult task is there easily, because these two things we should keep in our mind from this diagram. And once we are having, we understood this, then let us go further for that one, layman's language, what we are telling. This I am telling that, okay, we, Mr. Meditator, I am proposing that the meditator can get the ionized plasma, that we see how, and what is the authenticity of that, that also will find. But here I have brought it out, that what Ramarao was telling about scientists as well as David Bohm and all, he was quoting, and when Dr. Meghnad Saha, he was also telling that whatever is happening in the universe, the same thing is happening within us. How it's so? So for that purpose, this slide will be very quite, they have so far not solely nothing but consciousness, pure consciousness. For what? For that, when there is a center for consciousness at Arojana, and they are trying to understand the consciousness, but so far they have not made a sort of solid proposal and understanding about consciousness. So soul is consciousness. So they are leaving the soul, means consciousness. They start from brain, go to the neurons, then go to the stars, and go to the universe. These four aspects, they are well versed of that science. They need experimental results, they need a sort of mathematical model, then only they can go. So that is their a sort of, we can say that hindrance. But what I mean to say that what a spirituality, a spiritual master or yogi or even a meditator, they stars are available. This also says what is the Yatha Brahmande Tatha Pinde. Three things are existing in Brahmand, means universe, the same thing existing in our brain, and that way connectivity happens. Why I brought this one? This diagram gives the message that whatever root we are living, that is soul or consciousness, try to correlate with the consciousness on what, then you will try to understand what is absolute, real absolute. Now, I'm showing this one, how the connectivity I was showing. So here what happens, human being becomes as an atom, and it floats like in the whole universe, I put that one, and their existence is just like a particle. You will find that this common sense. You will find that if any sun rays comes through a slit, we will find some of the things, some particles floating in that. That with naked eye we can see, but this kind of things we cannot see. So that kind of scenario exists here. How the meditator, how the evolved people, they float in the universe and they go to the different levels of the universe and they get all the experience. Then what meditator does actually. Meditator here, I will tell you this, how we have arrived this layout and all, that is we'll later on we'll do, but in meditation or in universe also, there are 6 nucleus. 6 nuclei are existing. In the sense, as I was telling you that blood cell has got the nucleus, try to recollect our the figure of blood cells. Nucleus was there, in that around nucleus energy was there, then space was there, then consciousness was there. Same thing. Each nucleus will have energy, space and consciousness. And we have got 500 billion cells in the body normally. So those have been grouped, Paramatma has grouped as a major 6 nuclei. Means all the blood cells, if you are grouping, they becomes at 6 major nuclei, and for that Gita, 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna has given the explanation to answer to Arjuna. We'll come to that. But them same 6 nuclei I am projecting in our human being, and there itself Lord Krishna says that I am present in the body as well as in the universe. So in the body where it present, that we are telling, we are going to locate, we are going to have the graph of that. Topmost portion is our Turiya, there is a one nuclei 1, then nuclei 2, which is a space, it is backside, that is 3rd ventricle. Then we have got nuclei number 3, which is nothing but energy, cytoplasm, we remember that cell, so that is there. 4th is cover of the cell, so that is here, 4th nuclei. 5th is our Jivatma, Jiva is the 5th. And 6th one is our world or Jagat, where we are having a sort of bhautik loka. So these 6 nuclei where Paramatma exists. That's why Lord Krishna says in Gita, I am there, I am present in all, but all the 6. But ingredients of the 6 nuclei means energy, space and consciousness, is not present in me. So that is what the meaning of that, what Lord Krishna says, I am present, but they are not present in me. So here we have shown on the human system the 6 major nuclei, where we call it CDC, means Creation Development Center, and whole creation either in the body or in the universe follow the same scenario, same kind of scenario, and 6 nucleus only is responsible for all the creation. So that's why Mr. Meditator is making use of out of 4 major nuclei, and these there. Now we'll say that what is we can say that what way we are having this kind of approach, and what way we are going to take that one. If we understand the cell concept or cell, whatever I was telling about the virus, plasma, as well as vaccine, at the same time energy, space and consciousness, then whole job is very, very simple for us to interact each other. Now I'm going to, that was layman's language or simple language, put up that one. Now I'm going to describe what is my paper or what proposal I have put up. In that, what we are describing there, and one by one, if you have read, fine. Otherwise also briefly we can understand that one. To present this scenario, what we know that everybody knows that plasma is taken from the recovered person, and that works as an antibody, but that is not giving the good result, because this plasma therapy was developed during World War II. This is because this therapy is very good for the military people, those who are losing blood all of a sudden because of getting some wound, cut or damage of the body. So plasma also goes out from the body, because in the blood, if you see the composition of the blood, 55% of the blood in a scenario, it is plasma only. 45% is only blood. Means plasma gives the support to the RBC, WBC and platelet. So that kind of things is happening. But once we are taking present the scenario, that antibody works for the first attack of virus. Means cover of the cell if a virus is there. If that time it is somebody suffering, means if a virus is going to enter in depth or in second stage, that time certainly our this plasma therapy is going to work. Otherwise, it is not going to work, and that is what results are available. Means from the United States, they are trying the day one once they had a COVID-19, and even our India also it has been tried, but results are not encouraging. So, what is proposal? Innovative approach. Innovative approach is a joint approach, means science as well as meditation. Why science cannot take alone? This is because science also can take alone. But for that, there is in plasma physics or astrophysics provides the zone where whole thing, if you are standing there, if anything approaches there, whole thing will become ionized. That is called fourth stage of plasma physics. What is fourth stage? First is solid, then next stage is liquid, like ice becomes water. Next stage is a gas, and beyond gas. That's what is called fourth stage. So fourth stage is available in the universe at just after solar system, or we can say as interstellar, where stars are there in that zone. So that zone is having the fusion energy. So there, if something is thrown out or kept out, somehow brought out there, then the whole thing becomes ionized. If plasma is what we are proposing, or plasma, we have seen the role of the plasma. If plasma is taken through a spacecraft to that place, then certainly this plasma, which I am talking from the meditator's angle, that plasma will become the ionized plasma. But that project, that kind of action will be very, very costly. It will be $1 billion projects. And because of a spacecraft has to be made, then fueling has to be there, and then it has to be sent. Even NASA has sent a spacecraft around the sun to get last 15, 18 years it is roaming around. So far results are of course coming now, NASA is getting. But this will also take around the same 2 years to reach there. At the same time, $1 billion cost will be there. So we are having COVID now, and after we will get the result after maybe 20 years. So that's why it is not feasible by the science alone to go there. Then alternate is our meditation. That is what we are claiming, and how meditation works, that we will see that one. So with this, that's why this is a joint venture we are forming. And what is ionized plasma? We know ordinary plasma we have understood from the cell diagram. Same plasma, as I was explaining, if science is taking to that space, interstellar zone or interplanetary zone, or you can say behind the sun, or in between sun and the stars, then it will become ionized. What happens? Plasma consists of around 80% of water, and 80 to 90% you can say, and the rest of the things is only salt, minerals, as well as iron form and protein. So these three things, salt, iron and protein, these three things are very less in the plasma form, because major portion is watery. But if the whole thing is sent there, then whole thing will become ionized. Water also will become in ionized form. Salt also become in ionized form without losing any property. So all will be in ionized form, but provided that it is reaching that zone, interstellar or interplanetary zone. So that kind of plasma will be very, very pure. It will not have any impurities. And if that plasma is brought and given, when thinking of that, to the ordinary plasma, that will work as a shield, and then whole only difference in ionized plasma will have that all in iron form, but they correct their biological and chemical characteristic will be kept in void condition. It will not be destroyed during ionization. But once it is brought and get interacted with any material like ordinary plasma, then those things will be very active, and that will become as a very conducive way. It will mix up, it will mingle with the plasma, ordinary plasma, and it will work like a shielding material, or we can say just like we are gold plating, we are doing it on some material. So like that, it will be ionized plasma plated ordinary plasma. So that is what we can say that that is the ionized plasma. We are talking about that one. And meditator, as I explained to you, meditator becomes a sort of atomic particle type, and then it goes there and it gets it. Now, to understand whole thing, in my talk I have given that first I have started with that a sort of scientific domain type, means ionized plasma, plasma physics, what plasma physics says, which I have explained briefly to you people that ionized plasma we are getting in particular zone and that we have to reach somehow. Meditator, I am claiming that meditator is reaching that zone. So first these slides are very, we glance through it will be very sort of self-explanatory, and we will see that how this, what is the Tatha Brahmande, Tatha Pinde, how it is there. And for that one, Lord Krishna, I was telling you that giving the answer to Arjuna, which gives us the a sort of how we are going to have only layers of the whole universe divided into 6 nuclei, as well as human. I've already shown, though it is available here also. This is the same I have shown you there. But how I'll tell you that how this diagram I was talking to you, how the layout is there. So whole universe is divided into 6 nuclei, and similar things is happening in our whole body. There is same. If you remember that cell diagram, I mentioned that number at the innermost circle was the nucleus. The innermost circle was the nucleus, and that that diagram I did. So that one was the nuclei, and again that nuclei has got next that one sort of zone, that was cytoplasm. So here one is nuclei, what you have seen in the cell diagram or cut view of the cell, and that was enclosed with the energy. Energy is third nuclei here. And that was after protoplasm, there was a space, that was cell membrane, that is number 2, and that is a space. So here that is nuclei number 1, energy is number 3, that is and the space is number 2. And I was telling you the consciousness which is covered, which is balancing that is number 4. So cell diagram, what we saw, energy, space and consciousness, it is shown here by nuclei number 3, 2 and 4. Then remaining 5th, 6th, what is that? Of course 7, 8 is also shown, so I will come to that. 5th, 6th, 5th is our Jivatma, any Jiva that lies there. And 6th is Bhautik Loka, means our Jagat, what we are coming, that is there. So all the 6 places only Paramatma comes as a sort of witnessing that one, and each nuclei will have energy, space and consciousness. After 6, we are creating the Jagat, which we human beings, we are making a sort of new creation. So that is what called Bija and Daja, and that is what shown as a 7 8. So Paramatma Paramatma is giving blessing, or he is coming up to the 1 to 6 layer, and that is that way means whole universe and whole body is divided. Now you see, from there is 5 layers. Between 6 to 5 is 1 layer, 5 to 4 is 2nd layer, 4 to 3 is 3rd layer, 3 to 2 is 4th layer, and 2 to 1 is 5th layer. So whole universe is divided in 5 layers for the activity, for all creation purpose. Similarly, whole our body is divided into 5 layers. So which we'll use in the next sort of slides or will for interaction. Then this I will explain to you earlier. Then we have got this detailed explanation of that one. Detailed explanation, we see that universe now, as we are telling it, bottommost is a universe, middle one is a sort of energy level or stars and galaxy, other things, and topmost is absolute. So these things are, this is our further, as I told you, that whole layers, whole 5 layers have been divided into 3 lokas. We know that loka means it is sort of we call bhautik loka, devik loka, and adhyatmik loka in Sanskrit word, but it is physical world, cosmic, and then spiritual. What does it mean? It means the 3 nuclei, first, 2, and third, is under where whole thing is very, very pure form. And as you know that our plasma state is only at 2 and 3, that zone. So very, very pure form. When we are getting ionized plasma in that zone. Then next is devik loka. Devik loka is where cosmic change is being happened. And the third is what jagat, where we are having physical changes. This diagram will be quite suitable for even explanation of E is equal to mc square. M is at 6 and below, that is bhautik loka. E is between devik loka, means that is between above 6 and below that 4th. And adhyatmik loka, C square is above that. So this kind of explanation we had since the beginning. It is not that Einstein has discovered. This was there with the yogis, but only thing they were not giving in the formulation type. But they were having this kind of a structure. So that's why I brought it here. Now we have understood those things. Now, as I was mentioning, that each nucleus will have 3 things: energy, space, and consciousness. Science is called it energy, space, and quantum. And in yogic term, we call it energy is nothing but our prana, space is nothing but our mind, and the consciousness is nothing but our chetana. So this is the only language difference, but things are same. Now, as I was mentioning, there are 5 layers in the universe, 5 layers in our human body. So what is those layers? And it is very important to know that 3rd and 4th layer, as I mentioned here. So this is the zone where only we can get ionization, because there only fusion zone is available. There you will be surprised to know that, or not surprised, it is happening, that zone had all the stars are filled with the hydrogen. And the hydrogen is fused, 2 atoms of hydrogen is fused, then we get one atom of helium. Helium is the fuel for sun. But one atom is missing. That missing mass becomes the fusion energy. So that kind of a close vicinity is there in between 3rd and 4th, and that is the zone where we have to get ionization. So this is the layer of the plasma physics. This is the layer of our meditators. We have also got 5 layers, and once suppose 3rd and 4th layer we are reaching in the meditation, then it is as good as we are reaching to the plasma layer of or ionized layer of the plasma physics. So this diagram shows that that's why we have put individually right hand side layer and left hand side layer is universe, plasma physics. So once our 3rd and 4th layer is joined together in that zone, if meditator is there in the right hand side, and they get the characteristic of as whatever characteristics are existing in the plasma physics or in the ionized zone. So that's what it shows. Now we'll go for Ramarao Sahib was telling about atoms and all. That's a good one. This why I brought it here. This is because though we call electron, proton, neutron made together is a atom. At nucleus it is a bond and the orbit in electron is moving. The same thing is not new to the our Vedic science. In Veda it is called electron is called Mitra, proton is called Varuna, and neutron is called Arjama. So why I brought it that term? These things are existing in our whole concept. it doesn't mean that it is existing, then why science is working. Science has to work. This is because we meditator or yogi cannot quantify the things, and we need a quantification of that one. For example, we need the mass. Without mass, we cannot make use of this whole electron, proton, neutron. We want to know about the spinning characteristic. So this science $1,000,000 project of the science has to work, whereas meditator is not a million, it is $0 project, but both are required in the for the mankind. This photon, I was telling you, God is of course in science is called photon. So photon presence is there in the all layers, and that was then this E is equal to MC square. I was telling you that it is a very well functioning or very well sort of legacy is working in plasma zone as well as the interstellar zone as well as in the interplanetary zone or in background zone. So this so is that one. Now that was all about physics side, modern science side. Similarly, the concept existing in our Vedic science side. This is self-explanatory. We have got energy as a prana, space as a mind, and the central zone is chetana. So this will be there. Now, when we get, meditator gets effulgent light. I have put in that article that meditator with effulgent light can give the plasma, ionized plasma. So then a scenario will be like this, our head and body will be full of effulgent light. Now in the same article I have talked what meditation that meditator does, or meditation, what is the work of meditation. So there, as I was telling you that we have got, naturally we have got five layers in the body, as the universe is also having, yatha brahmande tatha pinde. Things are similar, things are same. And this kind of scenario will lead us to reach there. But one thing is very layman's language, we can say that meditator does a trick. What is that? In 24 hours, 2 hours we are having deep sleep. Our 3 states we are belonging. Whether scientist or meditator or layman, everybody has to have only 3 states. One is deep sleep state, other is a dreaming state, and third is awake state. So out of 24 hours, 2 hours is only deep sleep. Though we call 6 hours we have slept, 8 hours we have slept. But the remaining 6 hours is dream state. And then the leftover is 16 hours is our awakened state, or we can say Jagrata state. So these 3 states belong or governed by the 3 centers, 3 nuclei, what we have shown in the previously, out of 6. So the nucleus existing at heart governs our deep sleep, normal case. And nucleus is at our throat center governs this our dream. And nucleus at between 2 eyebrows, that governs our awakened state. What meditator does? The meditator is shifting each state 1 step ahead. Means that nucleus number 5 was the dream state, nucleus 4 was the nucleus 5 was the deep sleep state, 4 was the dream state, and this third was the awakened state. What meditator does? This deep sleep state is pulled up at the throat, from the place of heart to the throat. And the throat, where earlier we had normal man, we were having dreaming, that is pulled to the Agnya Chakra between 2 eyebrows. And whatever Jagrata state was there, that is pulled to the back to the third ventricle, that is called near to the our backside. So this is what meditator does. If anyone who is able to do this kind of technique, by whatever means, by tapas, meditation, or by sadhana, there are so many things. It is not that only our Hinduism it is there, it is in all the religion is there. So then they can achieve the state of plasma state, or we can say they can achieve the purest form of plasma. So that's what I was telling, that a meditator, what meditator does in that way. Now, I've compared universe layout as well as human being layout. Because of Yatha Brahmande, Tatha Pinde we know, and that way is functioning. Now, we'll have that a sort of other one, how the brain is going to function. As we know, the universe has five layers. Our whole body has also got 5 layers. Brain too has got the 5 layers. This is shown here. In vertical layer, you will see the first lowest level is brain stem. Then reticular formation is the second layer. Third is thalamus. Fourth is our white portion is shown, that is called corpus callosum. And fifth is cortex. So this is vertical layer of the brain. Similarly, if you go for vertical layer, this is horizontal cut view of the brain. If you go vertical layer, brain has got frontal, middle, and back. So with these combination, brain neurons are working. Meditator is making use of the brain layers in a horizontal way as well as vertical way, and going to the particular place, particular type of meditation, and getting linked with that. So this is a plasma, means I was telling you that is a photon hot wave it is there. Now, this stage, second stage of meditation, we have got 4 types of meditation, 4 stages of meditation. One is, as I told you, that we call deep sleep meditation, because we have shifted that sleep, ordinary sleep, at throat level. So once we are meditating at throat level, so we are getting the all characteristics of deep sleep. Deep sleep, what characteristics we are having? Our mind is very quiet and calm, we get energized, there is no thought, we are unconscious. But in meditation we are conscious, but we are having very quiet and calm mind, we are having a sort of no thought, and all we are getting, very tranquil atmosphere. So second stage, from there, once we go for that we call third eye meditation. Third eye is nothing but we are meditating in between eyebrows. And that is very important meditation. That only leads us to the zone of interstellar, in solar system zone. So deep sleep meditation leads us to the back of solar system, means where our all planets are working and giving the effect. So that second stage of meditation is third eye meditation. Third stage of meditation is psychic death meditation, we call it. Psychically we are as good as dead, but actually we are alive. We don't lose the life, but we have the same experience what we are supposed to get at the time of death. And fourth is Turiya. So this kind of meditation, means a sort of types of meditation, and this shows that how meditator getting the effulgent zone in the second onwards. If we are getting the fully effulgent light, then our whole body will have the milky sort of light, and this is called Brahmajnana in the a sort of a spiritual field, and self Brahmajnana. And once any Brahmajnani seeing others, then it is others also the same thing, then Brahmajnani. Now we have seen meditator can get the plasma zone if they are getting effulgent light. Now what is a sort of connectivity? What way it gets connected? So you know that there is divinity in the universe and there is humanity on the earth. And link is breath. Means what? Whenever divine is kind enough to give us the breath, we are human beings, we are having humanity. When he withdraws our breath, we are no more. So link between divinity and humanity is breath. That's why yoga defines the whole religion in a different way. Yoga says, what is religion? Religion is humanity. And what way it should be, what to be worshipped? Divinity should be worshipped. And what would be the way of worshipping? Breath should be the way of worshipping. So puja is breath, and the God is divinity, means consciousness, and religion is humanity. Why from this one? This connectivity, as we have brought the slide. So connectivity is the breath for us, and breath is a sort of basis for prana. Now, as I mentioned to you, this will be the same thing that how brain is filled with neurons and how that can, what we have discussed earlier. Here it shows that the yogi is meditating and then stars and galaxies there. As we have explained earlier, that we have got analysis that how the neurons are getting connected to the stars and all, and then finally to the absolute. Now, the same thing I am repeating here, world is here and then whole thing is here. Now, what is the validity? Now, things are, as we have now understood that ionized plasma should be the ideal one, ideal sort of vaccine, because it is natural, it doesn't have any restricted it will mingle with the ordinary plasma, so that is there. But what is validity? Okay, meditators say that I can give you the plasma, but what way it should be authentically, it can be taken as a ionized plasma. So for that purpose, we have got certain medical applications, that instrument has to be used, and that of course Veda also tells about this one. Gita is giving Jnana Agni, but what medical term, Gita, this Veda I was quoting, then what way it has to be authentically accepted. So that is, first of all, the plasma, ionized plasma, once we get, that will be full of hydrogen. Hydrogen-rich plasma should be there. Ordinary plasma may not be. But you will find that if you take the plasma of a meditator, ordinary, when not meditating otherwise also, their plasma will be more refined than the ordinary man. You see, because that's why we find that no ashram people, no sort of yoga ashram or where yoga is being done, conducted, or where tapasya is being conducted, so far no man has become no person has become the victim of COVID. This is because it has got better plasma in this plasma compared to ordinary person. It doesn't mean that every man has to become a yogi or a sort of tapasya and all, because normal people are many. So for them, they should take the advantage of what they are doing, what they are having, and that has to be taken out. So why I am telling ionized will be during effulgent lifetime, though in between also they will have the better plasma. So that plasma is reaching to the zone of stars and galaxies zone. Their stars are always filled with the hydrogen. So once we reach there, that characteristic our plasma should have. So it should, once we are taking that plasma, it should be hydrogen rich or very alkaline. Second thing, while doing the meditation, there is an instrument which gives the sort of what phase of brain wave is there. That is EEG instrument or EMG instrument that will give the status of meditator. And third test, it could be done, that same ionized plasma if is taken and then it is kept near the RNA and DNA has to be tested. The RNA and DNA will be of natural form, means RNA is normally having the single strand and DNA is having the double strand. So that strand will be maintained by ionized plasma. So these are the three I visualized as a instrument, means instrumental way we can make it, we can say that okay, what meditator is getting is ionized plasma, and that way we are having that one. Then this again I already have shown to you, and this is a message for meditator that I explained to you. Now, before summing up, we can say that we are having this kind of, we should have some more research work has to be done, because okay, we get the virus, we get the sort of vaccine that my paper is claiming, and it is a very purest form, so it is there, and this can be tested with the means of a statement given by Lord Buddha as well as Swami Vivekananda, as Madam was mentioning. Swami Vivekananda had put more stress that unless the best of the West and the best of the East are coming closer together, we cannot get the solution. Best of the West is science, plasma physics, astrophysics, plasma physics, even quantum physics or particle physics. Best of the East is yoga, meditation, a sort of a part of meditation, part of Antarang Yoga, then tapas and all. So if they are coming closer, a round table conference or a common platform, then only this can be, best possible solution can be obtained. This is a sort of concept of Swami Vivekananda, and many universities now, of course, in India, especially SVSA, is a pioneer in this field and working on that. And I am as a sister concern working in Hyderabad. Now, this you can get support from what I have so far mentioned to you, that science and spirituality have to work together. Alone cannot get. This is because if you understand the Buddhism by giving his four noble concept of Buddha, what Buddha tells, Buddha is giving four noble concepts. Whole thing you can summarize that one. One is Buddha says problem exists, and we have the remedy and means a sort of region of the problem also. And we go up to the remedy of the problem. That is what science is doing. Science is trying to find out the vaccine that is remedy. Vaccine was found for H1N1, that is swine flu, and that swine flu vaccine was not working for even Ebola virus once it came in the African country. And Ebola virus or swine flu vaccine, Ebola virus vaccine and swine flu vaccine is cannot work in the this COVID. So what I mean to say, science is postponing the problem, getting the solution for overcoming that kind of problem. What Buddha said, that unless we go to the fourth zone, that is the root of the problem, we cannot remove the problem. For example, virus is there. If virus exists, we know the region of the virus. That is second concept of Buddha, second novel sort of concept. And then he said that okay, we know the region of the virus, then we know the remedy of the virus. We are trying to get somehow sort of just to remove the virus or just to nullify the virus. For that we are going to have the vaccine. But still some other virus will come, or this virus, as a neuromicrobiologists are telling, that this virus has got 2 years life. So that will still exist, or some new virus will come. What Buddha is telling, that you go to the root of the problem. Science cannot go to the root of the problem. Science can only define or analyze only existence, reason for that, remedy for that. Only spirituality or yoga or meditation, that can only take you to the root of the problem. As I was mentioning, we are going to the root of the problem, root of the where our plasma gets affected. So what root? We are making the plasma to its purest form, purest root, that is ionized form. So if ionized form is got, that is we are reaching to the root, and that root can be reached with the help of meditation or any sadhana. It is available, or it is not a very secret of this one. So by that way, we can endorse the views or noble concept given by the Buddha. And my talk is based on all the things. And as Madam was mentioning, Honorable Madam was mentioning about this our bone of the Rishi, that is a problem, that is sort of not a problem, that is a sort of challenge for science as well as spiritual masters. Spiritual masters can get the ionized plasma, but they don't know even technique of making it dry form. What is the Rishi Haddi? It is nothing but ionized plasma in a dry form. So with that we can say that we have to work together, and with that way we can move forward. Now I close. I am very thankful to all of you to have the patience hearing, and thank you all.
Please like, share and subscribe.